what point do so you're starting training, you're doing kickboxing.
I'm doing everything.
You're doing everything.
Everything.
So the eyes is MMA. It's not, let me be a boxer.
No,
let me do this.
100%.
It's MMA.
100%. And I called a couple people, man. Like, it's funny. I called Rashad first, Rashad Evans, because when I went out to in 2015, I went out to train with my brother in Florida, and I kind of built my relationship. I started meeting everybody, and you click with people. Energy is everything. That's why I like Tyrone say, lions like lions walk with lions. In 2 seconds, a lion recognizes another lion. And Tyrone is my big brother, man. Tyrone Spong. He's like, man, come here, man. He's like, I don't know, man. You're Usman's little brother, man, but you big as shit, man. I like you. We're gonna kick it. Ever since then, man, we're thick as thin, man. And Rashad too, man. I had a real personal conversations with Rashad. I can call Rashad right now, and he'll answer. He's gave me so much advice, and I asked him a lot of advice, man. Certain things I asked my brother that I know he helped my brother with, and that's why I would ask Rashad, because he's our OG. He's our big brother. And same with Tyrone. So I soak up all their knowledge. And first person I called was Rashad. And I said, Rashad, man, I think I'm going to start fighting. He says, man, I thought you were going to say that, man. He said, I could tell you love this, and I thought you were going to say that. And he was like, listen, Mo, if you put the effort in like you do with football into this, man, you're going to be a world champ. He said, if you put the effort in that you did with football, as I watch you you train every day. You can ask anybody in my life. I've been training, man, for 20 plus years. And they said, if you put the effort into this that you put into football, you will be the heavyweight champion. And I said, all right, I got it, bro. I got it, big brother. Thank you. And the same with Tyrone. Tyrone said, man, this sport is hard, man. You get hit in the face, and you think about your life, and you think about what are you doing, man. But the real ones understand and soak it in. And then my brother said the same thing. My brother was more on the cautious side. He was like, man, this is deadly, man. You don't want to do this. You get hurt, man. And I was like, that's what I want to do, man. That's what I want to do. He said, okay, we'll see. And I could tell my brother, man, he knew I wanted to do it, but, I was always just this football player to them until my fourth fight. And so my brother, I can tell, it's not that I lost the fight. It wasn't the loss. It was the fact that you became a fighter, man. You can go in there and grab people and do this and that and slam them and be just so much stronger than everybody else. But when you get in a fight where you actually have to become a fighter, it's like when you're in a cage with somebody and you don't know what to do. And this guy's throwing blows at you and he's hitting you and you're trying to throw it back at him. Now you're bleeding. Blood is dripping down my face and there's no quit. The guy hits me and I drop. And he didn't knock me out, but I drop and I'm looking at him. He's coming in for the kill. And I get up and put him back on the cage and I'm still throwing until the very last second of the third round. And after the fight, my brother was like, man, I'm proud of you, man. You became a fighter today. And I really soaked that in and I realized that this is the day I became a fighter, man.
And was that the loss to Don
Yes, it was. Yeah.
I was going to ask you that. What did that loss teach you?
Man,
you sort of got into it, but
it taught me a lot, man.
What learnings have you implemented since then?
Man, it taught me a lot because it's I knew I wasn't supposed to lose no fight in my career, man, in MMA. I knew it in my mind. So that loss, it really taught me a lot because I was going through a lot, man. I tell people to this day too, man. I was going through stuff with custody, getting custody of my son, and a lot of these little things, man, that you should never bring into the cage with you, man. And I brought it into the cage with me in rage, in not concentration, and that's the number one thing. When you come in there, I came in with rage and not concentration. You want to concentrate on what you want to do, and I brain farted. I couldn't throw a right hand. I couldn't throw no punches. I was just in there, just basically taking punches and just walking forward, grabbing them, walking forward, and just really put me in a place where it's just like, wow, like, why did I do this to myself? Like, why did I bring all this rage into the cage instead of concentrating, And it really taught me that this is really what I want to do, to go to another level, that I got to leave that rage somewhere else, I got to always concentrate when I'm in the cage and don't take anything into the cage. Anything I take into the cage is my learning and my focus and my concentration. And it taught me that I could go 3 rounds, 3 5-minute rounds. I went 15-minute rounds in a fight and I'm still walking around. Like, okay, this guy's, he can fight, So And I knew I was never gonna lose again. If it took all this for this guy and this guy didn't beat me, and he didn't beat me, he didn't beat my spirit. If anything, I knew I could fight because he was very, at that time, this guy's been fighting for a long time, and you could tell he was smart. He sticking and moving, he was running, sticking and moving. He did a very great strategy. Plus his weight, I knew this guy went because I watched every fight this guy fought in. He was like 266, 265. I guess if he watched film on me, he knew that I was going to come in there to fight. So this guy came in around 245 at 6'8". So you knew what he was coming in to do. He was going to stick, move, run around, and out-punch me, out-point me. And that's one thing you learn in the fight. It's not all about a KO. It's not about a TKO. It's not about a submission. Guys will come in there and out-punch you and win all day. And that's when my brother, that's what we learned, man. And win. You don't care about what these critics say, what all these people say. People say, oh, you just lay on people, you just do this, you just do that. I win. The objective is to win. Every time we get in the cage, win. And that's what I learned. In any way possible. However I can win, I'm going to win.
And how, at this stage in your career, how would you describe yourself as a fighter? Like, what are your strongest disciplines, and what do you need to improve on?
At that point, man, I need to improve on my boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, everything. But at the same time, I knew a couple jiu-jitsu moves they taught me. I just a brawler, and I played football. So in my mind, nobody's gonna stop me from taking them down. And if I take them down, I'm very heavy, and I can just ground and pound a guy out and get out of there. So in my mind, that's how nobody's gonna stop me from taking them down. Nobody's gonna stop me. So I go in there just bulldozing them, straight forward, straight ahead. Putting them against the cage, pressuring them. But I didn't know anything. I was still very green, and it showed. And my game is adapted so much now, and I'm very, very excited, man. Every time I get in there now, I'm excited because these guys don't even know what's coming anymore.
And what fighters do you enjoy watching, or have you studied along in this process?
Man, I've studied, of course, my big bro, Rashad Evans. I've studied Tyrone because these guys weren't the biggest guys, man. And that's the thing that I like to really soak in. Like even Kane, like Velasquez, like these are not the biggest guys, but these guys come with a chip, and they come with a motor, and they come with a certain energy. Like Tyrone, that right hand he has, lightning. If he hits you with a right hand, go to sleep. If he hits you with one kick, he's gonna break something on you. So I really soaked up a lot of these guys, and even Rashad, man. One thing about Rashad is like, man, Rashad is such an emotionally tuned guy that it's like he's so emotional. But when you get in there, man, he uses the emotions for the right thing. Like his fight against Chuck Liddell, I never forget. Chuck's crazy. Chuck is coming at him like an animal. Rashad is just backing up against the cage because Chuck is rushing him, and he just throws that right at him. Wow, overhand right. He throws the overhand right. Boom, catches him, sleep. Ice cold. I was like, oh my God. And that's when man, those emotions, everything just tuned in. And like my last fight, this guy's coming at me, he's pressuring me, but in my mind, I was just like, I'm gonna knock this guy out with one punch. I said this the whole time in my mind in the fight. One punch, I'm gonna knock this guy out. One punch, I'm gonna knock this guy out. And I'm just being nice and gentle. I'm just coming at him. I'm just reacting. And this guy just does it. He keeps doing his head. He keeps leaning his head. He's leaning his head. I don't know what it was. I guess it was a football, and that's why I explained it to the people that asked me. Like in football, I was really good at jumping the ball. Like jumping the snap, like getting the get off. That's where I excelled in that. If I can get off the ball faster than the guy can react, I'm gonna get a sack every time. So I just reacted. As soon as the guy just did his head, I just knew I could hit him before he reacts. So I just hit him, boom, and he just dropped, and I couldn't believe it. But I knew, play to the whistle blow. So as soon as he dropped, I just boom, until the ref stopped it. So that was the whistle blowing for me in football. The ref coming in and stopping me from almost killing this guy, And I realized that, man, all my training, because all my power, all my training, everything is connecting now into MMA that I've been wanting to bring into MMA. And it's a scary thing, and I'm very happy that I trusted the process, like my coaches say, and all my power, everything that I have, that I know that I possess, I'm seeing it transfer now into my hands for MMA.
Right on, right on.